Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys had a good night tonight. If you are new around these parts and you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. Welcome. I make videos for NBA. I also cover other stuff in my Discord. I'll have more info about that in a second. But all these videos get posted right here on this subreddit. It's called DF Sports. You can find my posts. My username right here is Shook. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. Gonna definitely need to be here tomorrow. When we get news on Brunson, Randall, and stuff like that. I'll make updates with what that changes and what I like, pending starting lineups and stuff like that. So, um, I'll try to break it down as best as I can in this video, but definitely be sure to check it out so you can get my thoughts um, about the news and what it changes and stuff like that directly. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can do so on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. Just know I am slower on Twitter to respond, so if you need a question about NBA, like pivots that people ask here, definitely do that on Reddit. Just don't share lineups; it's against the rules. Don't do that. So let's take it. Oh, by the way, if you want to join my Discord where I have content for NBA, I do XFL. If people have questions about esports, I help them with that. NASCAR, I've been giving out cash cores for NASCAR. Didn't do well today, unfortunately. I had Larson and I think Logano. They just I forget who I had, but I Larson and someone else. They just crashed in the beginning. But a bunch of other content. Player pools for cash and GPPs. I'll give you a quick little look. So I give you a full player pool. Anyone in green is cash viable. Anyone in white is strictly tournament only. I give you 4 players to play that will be in my lineup, and then I give you a private video of me going over the slate beforehand. So let's take a look at my lineup from tonight. So for me, it was a good night. Finally, been on a downswing of late. Past 3 days, I just got absolutely nuked in NASCAR. I slammed NASCAR. I got absolutely nuked. $300 down the drain. Past 2 days in NBA, or yesterday, I forget if I played the day before because I was sick. Just 200 something dollars just down the drain. Just it's been frustrating, but finally had a good night. Um, Still up massive amounts of money in the playoffs, but the core that I had for today, as you saw, was Tyrese Maxey. He did great. D'Anthony Melton, he did great. Who else did I have? Bruce Brown, who was just fine. And then Jamal Murray was a bust, unfortunately. That sucked. That really cost me from winning this tournament. It really, really did, unfortunately. And I considered going Contavious Caldwell Pope over Bruce Brown. If I did that, I would have been sitting very pretty, but unfortunately, I did not do that. And then I just loaded up on the Sixers. I mean, I told everyone in Discord you could play 4 to 5 Sixers, and that's what we did. We absolutely loaded up on the Sixers. Um, Clearly the best team to target on the slate. I mean, my God, was that game phenomenal. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but once I saw this outfit, I slammed James Harden into my lineup. Just knew it. Was manifesting that 100 bomb. As you guys know, I'm a Sixers fan, so tonight was phenomenal for me. And then obviously I rounded out my lineup with Harden, Paul Reed, DeAndre Ayton, and Tobias Harris. So good night for me overall, and let's go over this 2-game slate for tomorrow. So, really important news to keep an eye out here. So, my guess for the who will move into the starting lineup would be Caleb Martin, I would assume. Yep. So, if Butler's out, I assume Caleb Martin would start. But let's go over it both ways. So, if Jimmy Butler's in, I mean, that injury did look, I mean, it's an ankle sprain. maybe he'll be really low owned. So if he plays and he's low owned, I like him quite a bit for tournaments. Definitely a bit concerned about the ankle. Maybe they got some good drugs to give him so he doesn't feel too much pain. But yeah, I don't expect too many people to click on an ankle sprained Jimmy Butler at 9.4K. So I would like him for tournaments just for that reason. So would like Jimmy. I think Bam Adebayo at 7.8K. Like I said in my last video, I figured this series he'd be able to stay out of foul trouble. Only had one foul. Didn't have the best game, but I still think he's a reasonable play at 7.8K. Like I said, if he's low owned, I think he's a good tournament play. If he's going to be popular, then I'm fine fading. But I think Bam's pretty reasonable, too solid to me at that price point. And then, as you guys know, in my last video, I said I'm the most confident with Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry, and that stands true tomorrow. I'm the most confident in these guys. So, with that being said, it's going to come down to ownership for me. If Gabe Vincent's going to be much higher owned than Kyle Lowry, then I'm just going to go to Kyle Lowry. If Kyle Lowry is going to be much higher owned than Gabe Vincent, I'm just going to go to Gabe Vincent. If Butler's in, I think they're solid plays, even at 5, 3, and 4, 9 respectively. Can you play them both together? I think you can. I think you can. 2-game slate, I think you can. And I think their minutes are pretty secure. So, like Gabe, like Lowry, Caleb Martin at 5-1 if Butler's in, I don't have too much interest in. Still like a fine play. It seems like pretty safe to me. Kevin Love kind of got benched last game. So I would expect similar minutes for Caleb, but who knows with Eric Spoelstra. Max Strus 4-8 if Butler's in, just like there for me, minutes kind of all over the place. Your guess is as good as mine as how many minutes he's going to play. But when he does hit his shots, he does have a very high ceiling. So I'm always interested in Strus for tournaments, but a very risky play. And then Kevin Love only played 16 minutes last game. I didn't watch this game, but I'd assume he got cooked defensively. So that's why he got benched, and that's what you need to worry about with Kevin Love. His minutes are never secured. That's why I said I'll keep fading him every time he's popular, and he killed me every time because his production's good, and he kept getting more than 20 minutes. And then finally, when no one plays him, he plays 15 minutes. Super unfortunate there. But if Butler's in, it's only an ownership thing. If he's low owned, I'm fine taking shots on Kevin Love. Because if he does get the minutes, if he gets 20 plus minutes, he's going to be productive when he's on the court. So I'm fine with him at low ownership. And then I'm not going to play Duncan at that price tag. If he was cheaper, I'd be interested. But at 4-4, no thank you. Now, if Jimmy Butler is in fact out, you're just going to have massive chalk here. Massive minutes to go around. Massive usage to go around. There's just going to be a ton of great plays on this team. Bam Adebayo, let's start at the top. Bam looked great at 7-8. He's going to be the clear go-to guy here. They're going to have to lean on him heavily. Still not a great matchup, but he's just going to have to do a ton offensively. So I would really like Bam here. Gabe Vincent, I think, would look phenomenal at 5-3. He's going to play all the minutes he can handle. He'll be the clear number 2 on this team. He would have to do everything. He's going to stuff the stat sheet as well. His rates when Butler and Harrow are off the floor are surprisingly pretty good. So would really like Gabe Vincent. Would really like Kyle Lowry at 4-9. He'd have to play a bunch more. Obviously, he's going to stuff the stat sheet. Can't expect 4 blocks again, but would really like Kyle Lowry. Caleb Martin, like I said, would probably start. He'd be locked in for pretty big minutes. Would like him quite a bit. Max Strus, I still don't know if he'd get a minutes bump, you would think, but I think they could pull the plug on him if he's not shooting the ball well. They can always go to Duncan. They can always just extend Caleb Martin. They can always just extend the guard, stuff like that. So it still would be a tournament-only play. And then Kevin Love, I would think would have to play more. I would think would have to play about 22 or so more minutes. So would like Kevin Love at 4-7 as well. And you're probably going to see more Duncan Robinson, who would be fine, but I definitely prefer getting to like Love, Strus, Lowry, Martin, Vincent, Bam. Basically, would really like Bam, really like Gabe, really like Lowry, would like Martin, would have interest in Strus, would like Love. So this team would be very appealing if Jimmy Butler is in fact out. On the Knicks side, so we got more news to monitor here. We have Brunson questionable. I'm pretty sure he's going to play here. Randall, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's true 50-50. if they're both in, I think, no priorities on this team, but um, Brunson at 8-4 would be fine. I just like the second game a little bit better pace-wise. Actually, a lot better, and matchup-wise, still be a fine play. I mean, his usage is great. He's shooting the ball a ton. We know Tom Thibodeau likes to run his stars into the ground, so he's going to play 40-plus minutes. So, would still think he's a solid play. Randall at 6'9", if he plays, I think would also be a solid play. Once again, not a priority, but a good play for me. So, would like both the top two guys here for the New York Knicks. RJ Barrett, Josh Hart would be less appealing to me. Not out of play, but definitely less appealing. Fine as like last man ins for me. And then Mitchell Robinson played huge minutes last game. I know Thibs in the last series said that they really wanted to play Mitchell Robinson a lot more minutes. I don't know with Randall and Brunson in that we can expect 35 minutes again. I think there'd be a better chance of him losing minutes. We'll see though. He'd still be in play at 5-6 for me, but just a tournament only play for me. And then Obi would be out of play. Quickly would be out of play. I'm not going to play. I mean, Hartenstein's fine. They could close with him. I think regardless, he just gets 14, 15 minutes, a fine value, and then Quentin Grimes I wouldn't really get to. Unless they like change up the starting lineup, which I don't know if they would do. So let's go over it now if they're both out. So if they're both out, you're just, like I said, with Miami, you're going to have a lot of chalk here. Like, RJ Barrett's going to look great at 6'6". Josh Hart's going to look great at 5'9". I mean, they're going to have to do everything for this team. They're also going to play probably 45 minutes each. Would really like both. I'd feel a lot better about Mitchell Robinson. Would like his ceiling a lot. Obi Toppin, I think, would look great at 5K. Would really like him. Quickly would start. He'd probably be the best play on the slate. Would absolutely love Emmanuel Quickly. Would probably get a lot more run for Grimes. I think he'd be solid. And then, like I said, Hartenstein doesn't change much for me. Now, who's that last game? Randall. If Randall's out and Brunson's in, then I really like Brunson. I think RJ Barrett would be solid. I think Josh Hart would be solid. I think Mitch will probably have to play 30, 35 minutes again with like his ceiling. And then obviously I think Obi Toppin at 5K would be solid. Played 31 minutes last game. And then Emmanuel Quickly at 4-6, I think would have to play a bit more and be an okay to solid value. Then Quentin Grimes didn't really play much last game, so I would really play him. Now, if Randall is out and Brunson is in, then, or wait, if Brunson is out and Randall is in, I really like Randall. I absolutely love Emmanuel Quickly. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup, but a huge usage bump to guys like RJ Barrett, Josh Hart. I still think they'd be pretty good plays. Mitchell Robinson, I still think would be fine. And then Quentin Grimes, I think would have to play a bit more. Would have some interest in him. So hopefully I broke that down well enough for you guys. Now let's go to this Lakers game. So LeBron, AD, they continue to come low-owned every slate because their price points, they're just up in the 10K plus range. There isn't a lot of value on these slates. So once again, they're going to be really good tournament plays because I don't think anyone's really going to play these guys. And the pace of this game should just be absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. I think this game environment is going to be great. Kind of like that Memphis game, but I think better in my opinion. So I think LeBron, AD are both very good tournament plays. Like I said, I don't think too many people are going to get up to either of them. I could be wrong here, but I think the mid-range here is the sweet spot. I absolutely love Austin Reeves and D'Lo. Now, we'll try to rank them. I'll try to rank them at the end of this video. If like the Miami, if Butler's out, if Brunson's out, if Randall's out, I'll try to rank them for you guys. But really like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. I think Reeves has the higher floor and he'll play more minutes. D'Lo, definitely lower floor, and they have at times benched him, but definitely a higher ceiling. But they're just too cheap. So I really like Reeves and I really like D'Lo. Taking a look at last game's rotation, until they got blown out, they weren't playing too many guys. They were basically running... I don't expect Gabriel to play much, so we'll just X him out. They were basically running 7 guys here, so with Gabriel, so 8. So You didn't see Beasley at all until the blowout. You didn't see, obviously, Lonnie. You didn't see Troy Brown. So I would expect that to stay the same here. So if you're looking at the minutes for these secondary guys, you can't look at them and say that these are what these guys were going to get. Rui got his minutes cut short. Dennis Schroeder got his minutes cut short a little bit. And then the main guys obviously got their minutes cut short a bit. So if they do that same rotation, I think Rui is an okay value at 4 or 5. Hasn't been playing well of late, but he does have a high ceiling. I expect low to mid 20s minutes for him. Jared Vanderbilt at 3.9. I think we get upwards of around 20 to 22 minutes, a reasonable value. But production alongside AD hasn't been the best, but he does have this type of ceiling. Dennis Schroeder, I think, is another reasonable value. Could get extended if D'Lo's isn't playing well. So I always have interested in Schroeder just because solid point per minute guy that could get extended and does have a ceiling at a sub 4K price tag. So I think he's a reasonable value that I'd definitely be interested in taking shots on. So that will do it. I'm not going to get to anyone else. So let's go over the Warriors. Let me take a sip of water. All right, let's do it. So, Steph had that massive game here. You guys know I've been preaching it all day long. I love targeting guards against the Lakers. I think he could just absolutely feast here. So, I'll try to rank the spend-ups at the end, but I really like Steph for tournaments. I have a feeling he might get ownership because of the last game, but very good play to me. Now that the Warriors mid-range is priced up, no priorities for me. We're gonna have to monitor what they do with the starting lineup and if they start Draymond or Poole. If Draymond doesn't start, he's just a secondary play for me. If Jordan Poole does start, he's a fine tournament play. He's been very, very bad, but a fine tournament play. Kevon Looney, different matchup here going up against AD. They're going to need him out there as long as he can stay out of foul trouble. I think he's fine. I wished he was cheaper, but does have a nice floor. And then Wiggins, Klay Thompson, they're solid to me. Not standouts, but, if I have 7K remaining, 6.8K remaining, I'm definitely fine landing on one of them as a last man in. Wiggins if you want the floor, Klay if you want the pure ceiling. And then with this grouping of Dante, Gary Payton, Moses Moody, I really don't know what Steve Kerr's doing here. You're seeing sporadic minutes for all three. So I really don't know what they're going to do with these three guys. So your guess is as good as mine. If you want to take a shot on a Dante, a GP2, a Moody for super large field tournaments, like the big tournament, 150 lineups, be my guest. I feel the best about Gary Payton. I think they'll need his defense out there, but no real strong takes there. I'm not going to go there. I don't think I would go there in single entry or 3 max. Definitely only if I was playing 150 lineups. That'll do it for the slate. So let's try to rank these guys if people are out. So, if Brunson and Randall are out, there's no way I'm playing Draymond over RJ Barrett. There's no way I'm playing, and if Jimmy Butler's out, there's no way I'm playing Poole over Gabe Vincent. There's no way I'm playing anyone over Emmanuel Quickly in this range. Just no chance. Not going to play Rui over any of these guys if those three guys are out. I guess the question is, would you play a Josh Hart over Austin Reeves or a D'Angelo Russell? I think I would. I think I'd prefer Hart. So would like Hart over Reeves, D'Lo if those Knicks guys are out. Excuse me about that message. And that'll do it for the video. So I can talk about the CSGO slate on Steam. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys had a good night.